Hi, I'm Esther Kane with SeniorSafetyAdvice.com, and today I'm going to talk about some very common scams, 6 types of scams that target elderly. They've been around for quite a long time, but sadly they're still very, very effective. So at the end of the video, I'm going to talk about some ways to prevent yourself from falling for them. You know, whether it's you or a senior loved one, it's good to know what types of scams are out there and then how you can protect yourself. So before I get into that, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. And of course, click on the bell button if you want to get notified when we put out a new video, which is pretty much every Friday. All right, so let's get to the scams. There are 6 basic types. There's the healthcare scam, the medical alert robocalls, although there's a lot of robocalls, but we're going to talk about the medical alert one. There's calls from senior benefits companies, scams on voice search devices like Siri, Alexa, Google Home, charity scams, and then funeral scams, which is really despicable, but I guess they all are. They're all despicable. All right, so let's talk about each one. The healthcare scams, there's basically 2 types of healthcare scams. The senior, the way it ends up going is the senior will get a phone call saying something like that there's a problem with their Medicare card or Medicaid insurance or health insurance benefit, and that they need to go over some information to validate it or to fix the problem. The second type is that a senior may get a call saying that there's a discount available for them because they are on that particular insurance or Medicare or whatever. The con artist then really ends up getting your personal information, you know, birthday, social security number, and Medicare number, whatever, all kinds of information from you. But it's obviously a scam. And one note I do want to make, some of these, you know, once you know what they are, they seem very obvious and you're like, well, yeah, I'm not going to fall for something like that. But the truth is that a lot of them are very slick. They can sound very authentic. So it's very easy for a lot of people to get taken. So the key is to be alert. All right. The second type of scam is the medical alert robocalls. It's a very popular robocall, and it's a call obviously put to seniors mostly that they could get a personal medical alert device. And then some scammers will even go, add on something like a free gift card for groceries or, whatever. Obviously, if it seems too good to be true, it usually is. And in this case, it definitely is. So there is no such thing as a free medical alert device just by picking up the phone. All right, calls from senior benefits companies is the third type of scam. So lately, I've gotten several phone messages here at my home telling me that there's a problem with my Social Security benefits. I am not taking Social Security benefits at the moment. Other calls are telling me that the IRS is trying to get a hold of me, that it's an emergency. I have to call them back. They owe me money or I owe them money. That's not true. These calls come from a different variety of phone numbers. So don't think that it's just always one phone number. And they can come throughout the day, throughout the evening. But once they have the senior on the line, then they can pull personal information from them. And obviously then they've been scammed. The fourth type of scam is kind of a new one. It has to do with the voice search devices like Siri, Alexa, Google Home. And this is the way it works. All these devices have the ability for you to say, Siri, call, Bank of America on Main Street, Atlanta, Georgia. So it will do that. It will call that number and or it will give you that phone number. But the way these devices work is that when they go onto a search engine to look for that information, they pick up the very first entry on that search page, which is usually these days, it's usually an ad. Most often it's an ad. So scammers, what they're doing is they are buying these ads. They pay for these ads to be up there, number one. But it's a fake ad. It's a fake phone number. So when the device calls, or when you write down the phone number and then you call that number, you are calling the scammer. And they, of course, are going to ask you for your banking information or whatever information it is, pertaining to that type of company. So it's very sneaky. And of course, Google, Amazon are trying very hard to, combat this, but it's a new type of scam. So, it's going to take time to figure out. So I would say don't use those devices for that particular skill. All right. The fifth type of scam is a charity scam. Now, we all know that charity scams, a lot of them pop up when there's some kind of, emergency or natural disaster type of thing. The scam usually begins with a phone call, an email, or even a snail mail, whatever form of solicitation. But before you write a check to donate to anyone that has contacted you, you can check out that company and the address that they want you to send the check to on 3 sites. And I'll have those in the description below. But it's Charity Navigator, Charity Watch, and GuideStar. If you don't find the charity in either of those or all 3 of those websites, then it's definitely a scam. Funeral scams, number 6. So a lot of people know that funerals have the reputation of overcharging for services and products, and that is a type of scam. Also, some funeral homes demand, money up front, the entire payment up front. Just like any service, anything, you pay half first and then half later. So if they demand the full payment up front, to go choose another funeral home. But it's more than just the funeral homes. What scammers will do is they will look to see when a funeral is occurring. They will go to that funeral, and then they will approach the spouse of the deceased person and claim that the deceased person owed them money. They may even present some kind of documentation for that, but it's usually, I can't say 100%, but it's usually a scam. That is a very popular scam. Scammers will even also not even attend the funeral. They'll just see that the funeral was held at a particular funeral home. Then they'll call the family a week or so later and say, and pretend as if they are from that funeral home and say that they are owed $140, whatever amount to finish up the balance for the funeral services. So that is a very common and very popular and very effective scam because, when you're in an emotional state, it's very easy to be taken advantage of. So what can you do for all these types of scams? All right, I have some tips for you. 1, you should never, ever, ever give out any personal information when someone is calling you. So if you get a phone call, an email, a snail mail, whatever, a flyer on your door, whatever, do not put or give out your personal information to that source, ever. The best thing you can do is if you get a call, if you pick up the phone, get that call or anything else, is to contact the company that they say they're from, the bank, the insurance, whatever, and ask if this is legit. I've done that a couple of times and they have all been scams. So be very, very careful. Do not give out. If you get contacted, do not give out that information. Only do so if you do the contacting. All right. Often what I do is I get my phone calls on my cell phone. And what I do is I put everyone as a contact on that cell phone that I will be talking to, even if it's just a temporary thing, like someone coming to do a project in my home. I will put their name and phone number. That way, when and if they call me, I can see who it is. So if I get a phone call and it's just a phone number, not a name, then I never pick that up. Never pick that up. If it's really important, that person will leave a message and then I can call back. But I will never pick up the phone if it's just a phone number. It's just 9 out of 10 times it's a scam, a solicitor of some kind. The best way really is to protect yourself is to assume that any notification that you receive from an unknown source is a scam. Assume that at the beginning and then work your way from there. Like I said, if you get notification from your bank, don't fill that out. Don't give out anything. Call your bank and find out if that's legit. I would also recommend to not use the search devices, the voice activated devices for any search of any phone number. Go online and look for that phone number if you don't happen to have it, but don't click on an ad. And you can see, because it has the word AD right next to that ad, then you know it's a paid ad, and those can easily be a fake ad. So those are my recommendations on how to help protect yourself from these types of scams. There are many other types of scams, and we do have 2 articles on our website about these scams as well as online scams. So take a look at them. I'll have links to those articles in the description below. So stay safe in many ways, but especially from these scams. I hope this information was helpful and useful for you, and I hope that you haven't been a victim of any type of scam. But if you have, I hope you learned from it and are able to protect yourself in the future. All right, again, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Give us your comments, your thoughts. We respond to every single comment. Let us know your story or what other videos you would like to see, and we'll review it for sure. All right, stay safe, take care, and thanks for listening. Bye.